what we're going to do first is pre-bake our biscuits. So we want to kind of half bake them. So we are going to use these big biscuits. We're going to put them on a cookie sheet, and I'm going to turn my camera so you can see what I'm doing. And we are going to bake them for 8 minutes at 375. So what we're going to do first is open these. And these, when I was little, used to pop open and spook everybody. But recently, you have to take this off, throw it out. Sometimes you have to bang it on the side of your counter. So there we go. All right. All right. We are going to lay these nice and flat on our cookie sheet. And my oven, hopefully these all fit. Yep. My oven is already preheated, the 375. So once you put them in the oven, we are going to put a timer on for 8 minutes. All right, so these are going in the oven first for 8 minutes. I'm going to put a timer on, 8 minutes, start. All right, so next what we're going to get started with is the mixture, the good stuff from inside. So what we're going to do first is we are going to, in a large pan, we are going to put about 1 to 2 tablespoons of butter, depending on how much you're making. Like I noted in the email, if you're making the full dish, the full 4 servings, you're going to want about 2 tablespoons. I'm making half a serve, like I'm cutting the recipe in half because it's only me eating it. So I don't want too much left over. So I'm going to use about 1 tablespoon of butter. There we go. And we are going to put this on about a medium-high heat. As this is starting to melt, what you can do is start putting together 4 cups of your frozen vegetables. So what I did, because as I don't know if everybody was here, but Jared was mentioning how at the grocery stores, a lot of the food was out. I noticed that at my grocery stores too. So I was stuck by individual bags of different vegetables. So in this bowl, I separated out some broccoli, some corn, some asparagus, and underneath is some peas. So I have about 2 cups of vegetables here because, as I mentioned, I'm doing half of the recipe. But if you're doing the full recipe, you're going to want 4 cups. So you're going to want 4 different cups of vegetables. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your vegetables in this butter. So I'm going to move my butter around, get it melted. A little bit. And I'm going to dump in my vegetables. We're going to stir these together in the butter. I kind of enjoyed getting the frozen vegetables in individual packages because I can select what vegetables I wanted. I'm not a big fan of carrots, so it was kind of nice getting to leave them out for this recipe. We're just going to stir this around. We're going to heat up the veggies. Now, as your vegetables are heating up, if you haven't done so, as I mentioned in the email, I wanted you to cook your chicken ahead of time. That way it was ready to go. I cooked some chicken, and what I'm going to do now as my vegetables are heating up and I'm waiting for that is cutting my chicken up into bite-sized pieces. Get a fork. So if you have not cut your chicken up yet, you can do that. As our biscuits are still in the oven, they got about 5 minutes for our pre-bake. And our vegetables are starting to heat up as well. All right, so as you can tell, these are really starting to cook now. Starting to smell good in my home. I don't know about anyone else's, but I know my house is smelling good. And it's just going to start smelling better with these biscuits. So now my chicken is all cooked, or all cooked and cut. All right, and as you can tell by these vegetables, can everyone see? Let's see if this works better. Oh, yeah, there you go. My vegetables are coming along. I'm going to cut my broccoli a little bit because these are kind of in big pieces. I'm kind of going to separate some of those so I get a little bit of goodness in every bite. And my biscuits are about to go off here, so I will show you what we're going to do with them. We're going to kind of put them to the side until we're ready to build our casserole. And then we're going to put them on top, and then they'll cook the rest of the way in the oven. So we're just kind of half cooking them right now. So remember, we want to have safety first, and we want to wear our oven mitts. So right now what I'm going to do is pull my biscuits out of the oven. And as you can tell, they're not all the way cooked. That's perfectly okay. We're just going to put them to the side for a few minutes, okay? Somewhere where you won't touch the pan because the pan will be hot. You're going to leave your oven on, okay? Because we're going to put our casserole in the oven to finish cooking. So you do not turn off your oven yet. All right. So once your vegetables are nice and steamy and hot, we are going to put all the ingredients in this pan. Oops, you cannot see me. We are going to put the chicken in the pan. Stir it around. It's okay if all your vegetables are also not fully cooked because we're going to put it in the oven, so they also will cook in the oven a little bit longer. Okay, so we have the vegetables and the chicken in the pot. They are now friends and cooking together. You are going to put your cans of cream of chicken in the pan as well. I'm using 1 can because, as I mentioned, I'm cutting the recipe in half. If you are cooking the full recipe, you're going to add 2 cans. All right, and then we are going to put milk in as well. I'm using almond milk because that's what I had. I didn't want to buy any new milk for people that drink it. So we are going to put either 2 cups if you're doing the full recipe. If you're doing half the recipe like myself, you're going to do 1 cup of milk. And here is a little trick that I like to use in the kitchen. I'm going to measure out 1 cup of milk. Okay, here's my 1 cup of milk. And instead of pouring it right in here, I'm going to pour it into my soup can. And then I'm going to dump it in my pan. And I do this because there's some leftover soup in here. And if I pour the milk in this can and then dump it in here, it gets some of the remainder of the soup out. So to get all that good soup, I use the liquid to get it out. All right. So as you see, I have my chicken, my cream of chicken, and my milk in the pot. We are going to stir this all together. Be careful because it might drip out of the pan. You don't want to lose any of that goodness. We're going to stir this all together. They're all going to become friends in this pot. And we are going to add just a little bit of salt and pepper. Okay, I'm not going to add too much because my chicken was already seasoned, but you can add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. I really, really like pepper, so I might add a little bit of extra pepper. Now I'm going to stir this all together again. The salt and the pepper get blended in. And this will slowly become a little bit thicker. Okay, so I'm going to let this sit for a minute to get nice and hot. In a separate little glass bowl, you're going to add a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of butter because we are going to melt some butter to put on top of the biscuits. So while this is heating up, put some butter in a little glass dish, and we're going to melt it for about 15 seconds. You can tell my butter is melted. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of garlic powder in the butter mixture, just to give it some flavor. I'm just going to put that to the side. We will be using that in a minute. Are we ready to build our casserole? This looks ready. All right, I'm going to turn off my oven, or sorry, my stovetop, not my oven. I'm going to turn off my stovetop. And here's where I'm going to be very careful, okay? I'm first going to get a glass dish, whatever one you have that will fit the whole entire mixture. And I'm going to spray it so that it doesn't stick, because I don't want my yummy goodness sticking on that pan. So I am going to spray the sides, the bottom, all the areas so it does not stick. And now what I'm going to do is very carefully, because this is very hot, I'm going to pour the mixture in this glass dish. I want to leave a little bit of room because I'm going to be putting the biscuits on top, okay? So I'm going to show you. I'm actually going to be a little bit safe, and I am going to get a spoon to ladle this in, just so I don't spill all of it. So I'm going to put this in my casserole dish. All right, so what we're going to do now is, remember those biscuits we put to the side? Well, we need them back. What we're going to do is you are going to put these biscuits right on top of your casserole. Now, I really like biscuits, so even though I'm making half, I'm going to see if I can put all 8 biscuits on. I might have to cut a few. So a few of them, I think I might need to cut a little bit, maybe in half. Just because my pan is a little bit oddly shaped. So there we go. There we go. Looks nice and pretty and delicious. Okay. I think I can put one more in there. And we are going to get our melted butter. And if you look, you will see what mine looks like. And what you're going to do is you are going to put that melted butter right on top of the biscuits. All right. There's what our casserole looks like. We are going to put it back in the oven for about 10 minutes or until the biscuits are golden brown, okay? So that's what I'm going to do now. I'll put it back in the oven with my oven mitts, safety first. I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes. There we go. And in 10 minutes, we will have creamy, delicious chicken pot pie casserole. And that is how you make it, guys. I hope you enjoy. We get to let everyone know how good it is in about 10 minutes. All right, friends. So our food, let there be light, is finished, and it's finally ready to dive into yummy, yummy goodness. I wanted to show you the friends that were in my group and small group got a sneak peek of it. You want to make sure every single person gets a biscuit because that's part of the casserole, right? That's the best part. So my pan isn't hot anymore, so I'm able to touch it without using a oven mitt. So I'm going to take it out. And this is kind of like pre-cut, and I actually think I'm going to get a spoon instead because I used almond milk, so mine's probably not going to be as thick as if you used regular milk. But I'm going to plate it nonetheless, and it will be delicious. Oh, it smells good. I can smell it. All right. And here is my delicious chicken pot pie casserole. So let's take a taste test, my friends. I'm going to get a piece underneath. All right. Delicious and yummy. And healthy. Good. It has vegetables. So enjoy yours.